Thank you very much for joining. This is what we're going to try and do in the next hour. I guess one of the things that we could start with is some introductions. Perhaps when you introduce yourselves, you can say where you are and whether you have experience of remote working or you are doing an international job. Okay. And this phrase international job is quite interpreted in different ways. So you might need to say a bit about exactly what your international job involves. Okay. I'm not sure if I've got an international job, but I will just introduce myself. So my name is Eve. I'm from the UK, but I haven't lived in the UK for quite a few years. I have been working in different countries doing different jobs. And for about the last 10 years, I've been teaching English in Asia. Okay, can we move on to Blue?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Blue. I'm 23 years old. Yeah, I'm working at international company. Yes.
Uh-huh. Can you tell us what you do?
Like audit.
Uh-huh. Right. Accountancy?
Not like it as ISO. You know
Okay.
ISO. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Gunbiraram, are you there?
Good morning ครับ I'm here ครับ My name is Gan ครับ I live in บุรีรัมย์ Thailand ครับ
Mm-hmm. What do you do?
I'm a government officer in hospital and I have any experience working remotely, so I like to learn new things, so that's why I come here to see what's going on too. Thank you นะครับ
Okay. Rawi Wan.
Hi. Hello. I'm Rawi Wan. I'm a freelancer and I am interested in remote work. So I joined this class.
Great. Thank you. And what kind of work do you do when you say you're a freelancer?
Mostly I work as a event staff.
Uh-huh. Great. Exciting. So this is our learning objectives. I hope that we can get through most of these, that you might be able to fully appreciate there are differences between international jobs and careers and remote working. We're going to talk about some vocabulary to do with that. We're going to discuss how we might find an international job and about the best ways to communicate in an international workplace. Okay. So by the end, hopefully you will be more knowledgeable about all those areas. So we're going to start with the vocabulary. Have a look at this first word, remote work. Can you describe how you believe that happens or how it works? And do any of you do any remote work?
Okay, for me, I don't have any experience about remote work, but I think remote work is some kind of like working style where everyone can work from anywhere. And I saw my friend, she works some kind of like animations, and she used her laptop working as another country and communicate to Thailand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, I think you've all, you're saying things that are familiar to us because, remote work can mean different things to different people in different places. And in fact, actually, I do have a recording of somebody talking about remote work. It's quite short. It's only a minute or two, so I can maybe play that for you. I will have to change the screen to do that.
I'm in the publishing business, and I usually work from home 2 or 3 days a week. I find I can concentrate a lot better out of the office, especially if I've got a lot of reading to do and I need to prepare for meetings. It's just me and my dog, so it's a pretty relaxed environment. Remote working seems to have become more popular in the last 10 years, I still commute to the office, and I'm available for online meetings when I'm at home. But with remote work, you might live in a different part of the country, or even a different country completely, and never go to the office at all. I have a friend who works remotely for a company based in Germany, and he's never met any of his colleagues in person, but he talks to them every day. Personally, I like the mixture of quiet at home and getting to see people in person in the office. I'd get too lonely working remotely.
Do you agree with her description of remote working?
Maybe lonely, I think so.
She said it could be lonely if she did it all the time. Does she do it all the time?
She said she worked like a couple days a week.
Yeah, she works a couple of days at home remotely, but she sometimes goes to the office as well. What was her business? Did you hear what kind of work she does?
A publication stuff. It's publication stuff.
Yeah, she said she works in publishing. And that is one area of one type of industry which many people believe is better suited to remote working. What did she say she liked about remote working?
It's good for her because she must read a lot. Yes.
Yeah, she's talked about other things as well. She's reading, so what kind of environment does she need?
Relaxing environment.
Mm-hmm. And I think she also maybe mentioned a quiet environment, because sometimes offices can be a bit noisy. So for some remote workers, working at home or working in a different place that isn't an office can be better for them. Again, it depends exactly what your job is. So there's just some very short definitions or meanings in this table about remote work, and very general, working outside a traditional office. So, you might be anywhere and you might be communicating with your office or your employer by email, by telephone, using Zoom or Teams, whatever. Different types of connecting with your employer and the employee. We didn't talk about this word self-employed, but freelancers are often also described as self-employed people. Again, the idea is that, you're not getting a regular salary from a company. I expect you're familiar with the deadline one. This is when you've got to get something finished and completed and ready to be used. We're doing virtual meetings now. We've got an online meeting. Some of us are collaborating more than others, maybe. Collaboration is working together. It's really important, particularly if you are working remotely. There are times when you need help from other people, and you might have to get it by talking to them on the phone or doing a Zoom meeting. Productivity is about how much work you do and are you efficient at doing it. Time management is something we're probably failing on because we're running out of time. It's about trying to get our work organized effectively. Communication skills. We have to share information and we have to know how to use different tools. Zoom meetings, email, chats, social media, all these different ways that we communicate. Our clients will be the customers of the company, the freelancer, the person who's getting the benefits. And our last one, digital nomad, again, has many different kinds of definitions and ideas behind it. But here we've just got this very short one because these are very concise. Somebody who's working remotely, but also moving around and traveling. Although a lot of digital nomads now do stay in places for 2 or 3 years. And I'm sure you've heard that there are these digital nomad visas so that people can stay in a country for a longer period. So that's just a quick look at those words. We said that we were going to try and understand the difference between remote working and international jobs. Does anybody have any ideas about that?
I think remote work can be any kind of work that you don't have to go to the office, but international job is a job that you work with international company or many different colleagues. I mean, many what do we call? I'm thinking about the word.
Are you thinking about people in many different countries, maybe?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good point to make. Were you here when we played the recording about the lady who works in publishing, and she talked about how she works from home so that she can do her job without being interrupted?
Oh, yes, I heard it.
Yeah. So, you know, she's in that she is remote working. She is not going into the office to do her job. Okay. She's working somewhere else. So that's kind of what we would call remote working. And the somewhere else can be anywhere else. But international jobs are a bit different. So this is one definition of an international job. It really suggests that you might have to work in a number of different countries, including your home country sometimes, maybe. But you might be going to other places as well. And you might have colleagues in many different countries that you have to communicate with and collaborate with. So you, again, might be using the same tools as a remote worker uses or a freelancer. You might be having a lot of emails. You might be doing a lot of Teams or Zoom meetings because the people that you are working with are not necessarily in the same office or the same country even. So quite often remote working and international jobs can look similar, and there are some similarities, but there are also differences as well. And usually with international jobs, we expect to have to move to other countries at different times. Whereas remote working, we might be able to do that from our home and do everything online and with email and other types of communication. So if you're going to be working maybe for a company that's based in another country, you might want to think about what kind of profession you're in or what profession is good for doing that. Somebody mentioned they were doing some auditing, some ISO auditing. And I know that some people, some companies, big international companies employ a lot of accountants in many different parts of the world, for example. So one of the other things to think about in connection with international jobs is what actually, you know, what jobs are easy to use to travel and go to different places. So a lot of people will say that IT, programming, and other jobs like that are particularly suited to having an international career, as well as doing the remote working or the freelancing. So some advice here. Which job is best for an international career? Some people would say tech jobs, programming, IT. Some people say teaching English is good. And of course, if you are working in a multinational corporation, then you might get asked to go to many different places or to work with many different colleagues. But if you don't want to work for a company, then doing your freelance work, being a digital nomad might be an option, but you are going to have to keep looking for more work. If you're employed by a company, then you're getting a salary. If you're freelancing, working as a digital nomad, you might find that you have to keep searching for the next job or the next project. I hope that helps you understand the differences. So I suppose our last question is, what can you do next? What's your follow-up action having attended today? Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can.
This is for everyone. So try to answer this question. Why would you be a good candidate for an international remote position? You've only got a minute. What kind of things would you say? So think about how you would answer that question in English in a minute. You're going to persuade an employer that you would be a good person for an international remote position, perhaps. So what kind of things would you tell them about yourself, your ability to meet deadlines, manage your time, communicate with colleagues in different places? So using some of the vocabulary that we talked about. I would also recommend that some of you really think about how you introduce yourself online. It's really important that if you can switch on your camera, make sure you have the correct name in the box on Teams or Zoom. Otherwise, people don't know who you are. Make sure you tell people your name, you tell them what you're doing, you tell them where you are, make it clear what you want. Use your introduction to really explain yourself. Introductions are very important. So, write yourself your paragraph and learn it and be fluent in it and be confident. Okay. And then doing a professional profile, which explains what you believe you could bring to an employer. You need to explain what you've studied, if you're working, what you're doing now, what your experience is, what your skills are. Are you a good communicator? Do you speak a lot of languages? Are you very good on programming different types of office software or something? There are so many things that, employers are looking for. So, think about what you can do well. If you've worked remotely, explain how you've done that. And of course, it's a good idea to show that you have a plan, that you are thinking about the future. So some career goals about what you would like to do or where you would like to be in 5 years' time are always good to include. So those are the things I would suggest you try and do after today to help you build on the things that you've learnt today.